This all happened around 5 years ago. My then wife and I had been married for around 3 years at that time. She was raised in an extremely strict Christian home. Her parents disliked me because 1. I am not religious and 2. I am a Democrat. They did all they could to persuade her not to marry me, but it was futile. In retrospect, I wish they had persuaded her not to marry me. My wife started to withdraw at some point during our marriage. We went from having 3 times a week to 3 times a month to once a month. She informed me that she didn't like having that much and that she just did it to please me. What I didn't realize was that she didn't want to spend so much time with me since she could get it elsewhere. How did I discover this? My wife was using my laptop. Her laptop was being serviced, and inadvertently checked the Remember Me option on her email. When I tried to check my email, it was forwarded to hers. I witnessed every communication she sent to this man, which essentially verified her cheating on me. I filed for divorce just like any sensible person who understands their marriage is finished. I also informed the other man's GF, who swiftly left him. Now, as I previously indicated, her folks were never really fond of me. They were furious when they found out I was divorcing her. She allegedly lied to them, claiming that I cheated on her. Every other week, I received venomous emails from them. After our divorce was finalized, I informed her parents of her infidelity and provided them documentation. Her father emailed me to apologize and express his disappointment in his daughter. I just had one response: you now have a better understanding of your daughter's personality. Please do not contact me again. Since then, none of them has contacted me. A year or so after our divorce, I get a lengthy email from my ex with the subject, "Thanks." I expected it to be some kind of thank you note, but it was far from that. Some of it included things like, "Thanks for making my parents hate me," "Thanks for forcing me to cheat on you," and "Thanks for destroying my life." That was the last I heard of her. Her parents had abandoned her, and she was the laughingstock of the little village where she grew up. According to Facebook, she now resides in Australia, but given that she hasn't posted anything in 3 years, I may be mistaken. Also, do you recall the girlfriend of the person with whom my wife was cheating on me? That lady is now my fiancé. I.win. Story number 2. Their photos were sent to me by the other woman. We've been dating for 4 years. I've always thought of him as a morally pure and honest individual. We've broken up many times, yet we always get back together. This year marked the end of our longest breakup, which lasted 4 months. I hope he would win me back as he had previously. And it seemed that he wants me back after 4 months. He stated he didn't have the heart to date anybody else during our break because he wanted to be pure for me in case we reconnected. 3 weeks into our new relationship, I get a message from a lady who says they'd been dating for months, that my partner is a liar and a scheming cheater who has slandered me. She supplied images of them kissing and having fun as evidence of their connection. It was terrifying. When I phoned my boyfriend, he stated he's trying to break up with her because she's and has been assaulting him. He's got a few lacerations to prove it. Everyone in my family and circle of friends thinks he's a jerk and that I should leave him. However, I adore him. We've gone through so much as a group. On the other hand, I'm still reeling from the betrayal. While we weren't dating at the time he was with this girl, he also lied to me. In addition, he was able to replace me in less than a month following our breakup. He claims that if this girl hadn't been he would not have gotten back together with me. She's been threatening to ruin his life for a long time. He is now obtaining medical certifications, requesting a police blotter, and gathering evidence against her in case she does anything else to harm me or his family. I'm currently assisting him in capturing screenshots of her messages to me as evidence of harassment. But all this time, I'm in anguish. I think I have to leave him, but I'm also afraid to be in more pain than I'm already in because I don't want to lose him. I also can't forget the images of him with this other woman. There was one of him in close-up eating her vagina, a couple of him sucking on her while pumping her, a couple more of them on a date while kissing. They even went camping. Camping was our thing before. The girl is hot. Saw her IG account. He says she looks like Gal Gadot in person. She's also 9 years my junior. I'm so broken and lost. I don't know what to do. Edit. I am reading all your messages and thank you for taking time to reply. Your POV are all thought-provoking and refreshing. I guess I know what to do. I'm just in phase. Like any addiction, it's hard to kick the habit. Sorry if I frustrate or offend anyone with my story. Update. I'd 40F and my ex 43M have been through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of breakups and reconciliation. One of our longest ones happened for 4 months. He would send occasional breadcrumbing messages, but I tried to ignore it. Eventually, I caved it, and he said he wanted to be back together, and that he had no one else during the 4-month hiatus. However, a girl sent me a message saying they were together for almost 3 months and even sent me their photos. In other words, he lied to me. I was very angry, but he said he wants nothing to do with her anymore and he wanted to rebuild lost trust with me. I forgave him. I love him so much and I couldn't bear the thought of losing him. People thought I was dumb. I didn't care. So year 2022, I wanted to have a clean slate. Things were gonna be better. I tried to be kinder, more patient, more understanding, gave him space, became available when I was needed. Whatever small attention he could afford me made me happy already. I was hoping and dreaming again. 2 days ago, he messaged me good morning, and I said I was a bit busy, but we should chat again later. A few minutes after that, his messenger was no longer reachable. His IG and FB were deactivated. He was no longer connected to Viber. His phone number can't be reached. All this time, he never introduced me to his family, so I don't know who else to contact. He's never done this before. Apparently, it just takes a few clicks to completely shut me out from his life. 4+ years of time and emotional investment down the drain. We didn't fight. He even came by the day before, brought me dinner, and I felt things were going well. I'm thinking maybe he returned to that other girl and she asked him to block me. I'm left with memories of times when he took care of me and how happy we were. I was told I was love-bombed. I can't believe he can do this to me. What I did was to block him on my end as well. I am powerless to do anything else. I hate how I feel. I hate how I love someone who couldn't love me back. I hate that even if he betrayed me and now ghosted me, I still love him. It hurts so badly. I don't know what to think anymore. I just want the pain to go away. Story 3. I am on FT with my GF right now, and I think she is sucking while on sleep. I am now on FT with my lady, and she is at home alone, or at least supposed to be, at the moment, or at least supposed to be. I fall asleep during the second call, but when I wake up to use the toilet, I hear strange groaning sounds coming from the phone, followed by swishing noises, as if someone is using mouthwash. I contact the police, and they arrive within minutes. I pay great attention for about 5 minutes to make sure I'm not tripping, and then I eventually ask her, "What are you up to?" I'm speaking in a kind tone, hoping not to come off as condescending. She responds by stating that she is lying down. That's when I inquire as to what all of the sounds are about, and she responds, "I'm not doing anything." After that, I'm a pile of quiet ash, and she claims I'm still unwell. As far as I know, she hasn't brought up the subject of she with me at all in the last several days. But I'm okay with that and tell her that's fine. I'm going to put the phone on silent since I may snore, which is ridiculous. I'm going to pay close attention, Ash. Consequently, I pay attention and continue to hear the same sounds. This is something I only see on Twitter, dude. I'm not going to allow myself to be cheated when on the phone. No way in hell. What is the best way to go about this? It should be noted that she lives around 17 minutes away by toll road. I'm going to pull over and will keep you all updated. In order to avoid being distracted by other vehicles, I drew up next to her with the op turned off. The first thing I check for are any automobiles that I don't ordinarily notice. I was surprised to see that there aren't any. At this point, I'm doubting myself, wondering whether I'm hallucinating. Perhaps she is unwell. And I consider jumping in the vehicle to go back home, but I have a gut feeling about it. You all know what I'm talking about when I say feeling. That, nah, let's check into this a little more feeling. So I knock on the door and she doesn't respond, but I can hear her on the phone moving about on the cover as I go up to her. I knock on her door again, and this time her phone goes to silent and she puts me on hold. At this time, I'm thinking to myself, lol, some is deaf up. It takes her a while to answer the door, but the expression on her face is wonderful. I'm simply saying, I really wanted to come visit you. In which case she's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? I'm just chillin' with At, and it's a little weird since I can sense she's very uncomfortable and doesn't want me to come in with her yet. When I attempt to force my way into the room, she blocks my route. For almost 30 whole seconds, we maintain eye contact, and then she continues, I'm not permitted to have anybody inside, even though she's sneaked me over to her home countless times and her mother's and even let it when she's away. So I say, I'm not trippin', but something is wrong, and I'd want you to allow me in. As I step into the room, she places her palm on my chest and says, "Nuo, you're behaving crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. And I despise being taken advantage of, therefore I'm like it." And then you begin to walk away. During my walk away, the FT call is terminated, and when I glance at the door, she is still there. Although I first dismiss it, as I stare at her hands, something clicks in my brain. Plus, she doesn't have her phone with her. That indicates that someone else has disconnected her phone. As soon as I get home, I start fiddling with FR. I get out of her path and make my way to her room. I'm late. While I'm walking, I can hear her yelling my name, but I'm not alarmed by it. As soon as I open the door to her room, my stomach sinks, and I truly can't believe my eyes. Like some you see right out of a movie, like this one, I can't believe what I'm seeing. The man lying on her bed is shirtless, with his legs covered by a blanket, and he's staring me directly in the eyes, just as I'm looking him right in the eyes. It's at this point that I notice her footsteps behind me. She hugs me from behind and says things like, "Baby, I'm sorry," while weeping. Now, I'm not a wind beater, but I've never wanted to strike a woman so badly in my life before. I'm still making direct eye contact with him, and he's looking off to the side, obviously frightened as hell. When I've been doing this for approximately 30 seconds, something in my brain simply cracks and I'm no longer surprised. I take a glance at her. She's weeping and on the ground, and I'm staring at him with my eyes. He's sweating profusely just looking at me, and I gather everything I've ever purchased her that I can find in the room and walk out the door with the most composed expression I've ever managed in my life. While walking out the door, she chases after me, yelling about how much she loves me, and I'm not feeling it. I maintain my composure as I go to my vehicle and begin driving away. The whole way back to my house, I'm blowing up my phone. The whole tour through the house, I'm blowing up my phone. If I hadn't blocked her, she'd still be calling me right now. I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with this, but here's what occurred, fam, as it happened. It's her, yet this has to be painful for her. Edit, I've made the decision not to communicate with her again. I was able to get the closure I desired, and I will not allow her the luxury of achieving hers. Further, the man came up to me and said he had no clue she had a partner and that he assumed she was taking pictures of herself while she was chatting to me, which I thought was hilarious. Somehow, the whole school is aware of what she did, and a large number of people have rejected her as a result. Despite the fact that I do not believe it is a positive thing, karma exists.